Originating from the high plateau of Tibet, the Mekong River flows through 6 countries including China, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam. It is a life source to more than 65 million inhabitants, most of whom are Buddhists. Today, this river of Buddhism is entering a new era ushered in by the One Belt, One Road initiative. And in this special edition of Dialogue with Thinkers, we're honored to talk with 6 Buddhist religious leaders from the stretches of the Lantsang-Mekong and Mekong Rivers for their perspectives on harmony and universal love.
Today it's my great honor to have invited the following religious leaders from the Mekong River, the Central South Peninsula. We have Venerable Master Yin Shun from China.
Venerable Master Yin Shun is Vice Chairman of the Buddhist Association of China and Chairman of the Buddhist Association of Hainan Province. He is also Standing Committee member of Guangdong People's Political Consultative Council. Because of his outstanding contributions, Master Yin Shun was awarded the title of Prominent Chinese Monk by the King of Thailand.
来自缅甸的班德塔长老。
Bandanta from Myanmar.
Venerable Sayadaw Dr. Bhadanta Sintata Lankara is a member of the State Sangha Mahanayaka and member of the Central Working Committee of Monastic Education, the Republic of the Union of Myanmar.
来自老挝的恩高长老。
Onikyu from Laos.
The Venerable Sitivong Onioko is chairperson of the Lao Buddhist Fellowship Organization of Luang Prabang Province, abbot of Wat Pang Khan, and abbot of Wat Hsien Tong.
来自泰国的
Prapong Masit from Thailand.
The Venerable Prapramasith is chairman of the Administrative Office of the Thai Buddhist Missionaries Overseas. He supervises all Thai Buddhist monks serving abroad in Europe, America, Asia, and Oceania, and represents the Supreme Patriarch of Thailand in all international monastic affairs.
来自柬埔寨
The
的
Great Supreme
遗忘僧王。
Patriarch Tet Vom from Cambodia.
Venerable Tep Vong was conferred the highest religious title, Samdak Priya Agamaha Sangara Jadipati Mahasangaraja, or the Great Supreme Patriarch of the Kingdom of Cambodia in 2006.
和来自越南
And
的智慈
Dr.
法师。
Thich Nhat Hanh from Vietnam.
Venerable Dr. Thich Nhat Tu currently serves as Vice Rector of the Vietnam Buddhist University, Vice Director of the Vietnam Buddhist Research Institute, and Editor-in-Chief of Buddhism Today magazine in Vietnamese.
Let me start with a paragraph of English. I thank you everybody for attending this dialogue with the thinkers. In fact, it's a dialogue with the religious leaders from stretches of Lantsang and the Mekong Rivers. We are pretty honored to be participated, to be joined by these very senior religious leaders. The reason why they are brought here is President Xi Jinping says that if we pursue the spirit of being inclusive, then we wouldn't believe there will be clashes between civilizations. So today, first of all, let me have the honor to invite Yin Shun大和尚 to address a very basic question. 那么接下来我想请印顺大和尚回答一个最基本的常识性的问题。
Please address this
在今
question
天
for
以
us.
中国为代表的比较浮躁的商品社会。
Well, today we're living in a material society of materialism. Everybody's impatient. And how important is religion in rebuilding the
我觉得我
society?
们这么多年呢，
Well, I think over the years we have kept running very fast. Everybody is a fast runner, pursuing health. We have left our homes, our hometowns. We have more and more wealth and more worries and troubles, while happiness is more and more remote away from us.
我们 到底要路在何方？我们呢？
Where will we end up in? Where will we settle our hearts? This is a question that Buddhism addresses in today's noisy world, so that we will have peace of heart and mind and soul. We know where the road leads to. We know what we need, what we ask for, what we want. Ultimately, where are we going?
These are actually basic philosophical questions about who we are and where are we going. Among the 6 distinguished and respectable religious leaders from the 2 rivers, 6 countries in fact, the oldest is Thip Vong, the great supreme patriarch from the Kingdom of Cambodia. He is 87 years old. My question is, how important it is for one to practice meditation so that one gets old but remains pretty healthy, like how you look like.
My respect to the forums and the audience. The existing of these 2 great rivers has been thousands and thousands of years. They have provided the necessity for living along the rivers. These 6 countries have been in existence, development and peace together. And these 6 countries, we should pay respect, attention to the teaching of the Buddha. Buddha teaches that living in friendship and solidarity will bring happiness. Therefore, we have to live in solidarity and for the prosperity and peace in our region, not only for our generation, but for all generations to come. Buddhism has been in existence in this region for over 2,000 years. This has been a source of inspiration and for the future brightness. Many thousands and thousands of people have benefited from the teaching of the Buddha, and especially for our living from young age until our region be in peace and prosperity all the time to come.
My next question goes to Dr. Badanta Sinthatalankara. Myanmar is facing reconstruction after the National League of Democracy won power and Aung San Suu Kyi was elected leader of the country. What's the role of Buddhism in uniting the whole country after years of a military rule?
Because of the Burma is the construction is like military government since Strong Uniwen, General Udan Shui to President Thein Sein and in the State Councilor Aung San Suu Kyi. Even though there is a political power, it changes one another. But however, the Buddhists is over 90% Buddhists are supporting Buddha Sasana, Buddha's teaching. So they support Buddhist culture in the Buddha's teaching. So that even though the government changes one policy to another, it won't affect. But however, of course, in this recent year, maybe many people might think Burma is a lot of religious conflicts. Indeed, inside the Buddhist country, not much, but sometimes like media they exaggerate so much so that the Buddhists seem to is like a lot of difficulties. Indeed, still peaceful in the living in the Burma, and that's why is CRO say even the Aung San Suu Kyi state councilor in her government is still supporting Buddha Sasana. So the Buddhist culture still continue in our country.
Buddhism has contributed a lot to the harmony of Laos. If you visit this country, which is so beautiful, so clean, simple, and yet very harmonious, question is how Buddhism has interacted with the Chinese Buddhism. I mean, what do you think of the religious exchanges for Buddhist believers between Laos and China?
นมัสการพระเทรานุเทระ
Venerable Masters, ladies and gentlemen,
นับถือ
the Buddhism in Laos, especially in Luang Prabang, where is the World Heritage Site, is the Buddhists that
ก็
have the strictly in
ประเทศลาว
principle,
ของเรา
like Buddhist ceremony in the morning. 75% of Lao people believe in Buddhism, but there are some religions like
เป็น
Christian,
ประเพณี
Islam, and animist.
ศาสนา
In the past,
เพราะว่า
Lao
อยู่ประเทศ
Buddhist
ลาวของพวกเรา
Sangha have the interaction with the
ที่
Chinese
ประชาชนลาว
Buddhist leaders and pay an officer to visit China, and some Chinese Buddhist monks also pay an official visit to Laos. So Laos and China are the neighbor countries, and friendship in Buddhist from the past until to now.
Thailand is known for being a country with a broad smile. 微笑的国度，泰国。So some of my friends who stayed in your country of Thailand for years came back and said to me, "Look, Yang Rui, I've never seen anyone quarreling, never seen anyone beating each other in the street." And I went to cover the Asian Games in Thailand many years ago. The driver of my cab, the taxi driver, used to be a millionaire, a property developer. But with the financial crisis, his wealth evaporated, disappeared overnight. But he looked very happy. He looked very happy. And then I started to ask a question about why inner happiness, inner being, has been so important for happiness. Can you explain to us why?
ถึงแม้ว่าคนไทยจะ
Even you know that the Thai about the Thai boxing, but the Thai people follow Buddhism, that we understand and respect each other and don't use the violence. So Buddhism teach us to have the compassion and forgiveness to each other. So that's why no the violence that occurred on the road. That inside happiness is about everyone believe that we can love each other and live with the own self. So try to share the happiness to the other.
In fact, I don't want to ask questions about politics. However, in both Myanmar and Thailand, you used to have a military government. We could still go back to a few years ago when there were clashes between yellow shirt demonstrators and red shirt demonstrators because of politics. I'd like to know the position of Buddhists at this defining moment about the future of your country and why today Thailand has gone back to normal. Do you think Buddhists, which account for a big percentage of the population, may have made very important contributions to the social rebuilding and reconstruction?
ถึงแม้ว่าความคิดของคนไทยจะแตกแยกกันเป็นบางครั้ง
If the different of the point of view that individual person had, but the most of the population will concern to about the Buddhism, about to the nation, to can be the unity.
Now, following the end of the Second World War, Vietnam went through two major regional conflicts. One was a war against the French colonialists, and the other against the Americans, the Vietnam War, a bloody conflict that deprived so many families of their loved ones. People in their millions were killed, in the carpet bombing, for example. Now, how could religions such as Buddhism contribute to post-war reconstruction? Do you think it is still an important issue for Buddhists to think about the relationship between peace and war?
Vietnam is the country of long wars, invaded by the foreign occupants. During the wartime, Buddhism plays a very important role in helping the country to fight against the invaders. And after the war against the French, as well as Americans, Buddhism again have been the Communist Party to reconstruct the society in a way that every person have to take part in working very hard for overcoming all the difficulties in society. Buddhism asks us to forget and forgive. Forgettingness the past is very important for Vietnamese people, because in the past we suffer due to the war. If we remember, then we hate the invader. By hating the others, we cannot cooperate with the French investor, as well as the American investor, which helped the Vietnam to develop in the modern time. So we also ask the people in society to forgive the invader, because that is the past, and the past has closed forever. So please don't remember the past. Just invest your energy in the modern situation, so that you can build the future for the betterment of yourself as well as for the country. With such kind of advices given by the Sangha and all the monks and nuns in Vietnam, work very hard with the government in every sector of society to help the people overcoming the post-war period.
Originating from the high plateau of Tibet, the Mekong River flows through 6 countries, including China, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. It is a life source to more than 65 million inhabitants, most of whom are Buddhists. Today, this river of Buddhism is entering a new era ushered in by the One Belt, One Road initiative. And in this special edition of Dialogue with Thinkers, we're honored to talk with 6 Buddhist religious leaders from the stretches of the Lantsang-Mekong and Mekong Rivers for their perspectives on harmony and universal love.
Well, my question goes to Thich Vong, the great supreme patriarch of the Kingdom of Cambodia. The question is very simple. Do you use a mobile phone?
In modern society, everyone has the opportunity to use this modern technology, and in Cambodia, almost everyone has this phone.
Therefore, monks do not live in isolation. Is my understanding correct?
You see, in Cambodia, after the civil war, now everyone has benefited from the development and the economic growth. So monks living in the society have to contribute. We use telephone not for other purposes, but to communicate and pass the message of peace and teaching of the Buddha to the people.
印顺大和尚，在中国好像
Master Yin Shun. In China, between Taoism and Buddhism, the lines are quite blurred. The Taoists ask for inner peace and the balance between yin and yang. And they also talk about the a life outside of the noisy world. But in China, in a world of noise, how can the Chinese people leverage Taoist and Buddhist thinkings to seek a balanced mind in their family, profession, friendship, and the balance between material and spirituality?
其实人有种种的需要，才
Well, people have different needs before Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, or Islam differentiate between each other because people have all kinds of needs. That's why the difference between the two, all different churches. Now, the love toward humanity is all the same. The light of the humanity is what supports the world. We choose what we need for our way of living.
我今天是就是坐到这儿了，我一种是
I'm sitting right here today. I kind of feel this out of place feeling, out of place, out of time. We speak different languages, we wear differently, but we share the same love. You went to Thailand. I actually shared the same experience. The flood there in Thailand under the INRA, Prime Minister INRA, 2 months after the flood. But everybody was peaceful. I was sitting among all the people, the victims of the flood. I was on the truck. A lot of water and flood all over the roads. And one man was actually towing a basin, like a wooden base with his wife and kids in there. And all of a sudden, this kind of makeshift boat was flooded. However, they didn't cry or anything. They just waved at me. And then after the flood receded, the people would just started fishing there, and also some of them would actually started reading. So what kind of power was behind this kindness and peaceful quietness? As China developed so fast with so much material prosperity, how come we have so much negativity? 5 years ago, when I was in Hainan Island, I saw the sunshine and smile of the people here. Is it because the air pollution is absent here? Well, air quality is definitely good. That is the balance between nature and humanity. And nobody is pressuring them about GDP, and nobody's talking to them about values day in and day out. Of course, GDP is important, but in the process of creating GDP output, you need to find balance between GDP and happiness.
我想问一下旁边的班德塔大使。
From Myanmar, most Minister Bandenta, monk He Shun, Master He Shun said that all the religions actually believe in love. But I understand there's 4 noble truths. Number 1 is suffering. Do all religions share the same thing, suffering? But first of all, how come so much instability in the Middle East? Can we give them the Chinese solution?
Of the region. 谢谢。
For Asia, people are living together along with throughout the history. There's not much different conflicts, but in a certain place, Middle East, there are a lot of conflicts because of the different perspective, different opinion. Because this is very much based on ignorance in Buddhism, avijja. This ignorance is leading loba, is so much greedy or so much attachment to something. Dosa, angry or hate to one another. In the moha, in the thick illusion or ignorance. So that since these three unwholesome factors or foundations are very much based on human's mind or human's thoughts, it's very difficult to getting along each other because of different perspective, different approach, and so on. So that these kinds of mental states we call unwholesome mental states or akusala in Buddhism. So we need to try to get solution because maybe certain condition, try to understand each other, appreciate each other, respect one another, and then try to negotiate more like this forum or whatever the interfaiths. We need to reduce our anger, ignorance, or thickness of ignorance through the meditation. So if it is possible, we humans really want to longing for peace and happiness. Meditation is a part of technique. That's why our Buddhist culture in Asia, one way or another, long history, up to this age, still carry on this meditation we call Sila Samadhi Panya, 3 trainings. This is the way to get together in this solution. But there's my addition. Okay, one more. Because of whatever consequences arises, not because of single cause. There are many causes. So that's why we need to find these kinds of causes. So meditation is the best solution to find to ourselves or to get inner peace. This is
Thank you so much for your teachings. Thank you so much. Your deep meditation and thoughtful participation in this discussion about the Belt and Road Initiative, I believe, has once again featured and underscored the importance of universal love and mutual trust. Based on principles of such spirituality, let's say prayers and usher in the golden age of interconnectivity, which aims to promote co-prosperity along the stretches of the Lantsang-Mekong River and the Mekong River. Thank you again for your participation. Thank you.
我提议啊，我们一起呢，给我们在座的是各位一起呢祈福，也为我们所有电视机前的观众朋友们祈福，
all of us sitting here and the audience in front of the TV and for everybody.
Let's enjoy the blessing of the religious leaders.
是祝我们电视机前的观众朋友们和我们。
I'd like to wish all the members of the audience and all the participants and all our friends good health and every success. And Buddha blesses you. Amitabha.
Namo Sambuddhassa. Namo Sambuddhassa.
谢谢 Thank you so much.